Hi everyone, it's been 1 month or more for some of you who are staying at home right now. It's not easy, but we are adapting, right? So everyone will have their set of challenges to conquer, during this period. I'm Miss Ng. I'm starting on a few initiatives to bring value and trying to help the community to tide this period. So this series of interviews that I'll be doing with some people is to help to flesh out perspectives from different people on how they are coping during this period. So I'm very glad that today I'm happy to have invited, Denise, the co-founder of Mega Agency, to share with us how we can be creative during this pandemic COVID-19 period when, all of our hands are tied in terms of business or individually at work. Hey, hi, Denise. You know,
Hello, Mavis. Hi.
Thank you for accepting this interview. It was actually a great pleasure and I feel very delighted to have you up in this interview. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Likewise, I'm very honored to be here together with you and also many of us who are watching this uh, video interview with us and trying to learn more from each other.
Great. Generally, how do you think this entire outbreak has been for you?
Well, I think, like I mentioned just now, it has been almost about a month that we are being at home most of the time, other than going for essential needs. To be honest, in a very generic overview, I think I'm okay. I'm doing quite well, in fact. But at the later part of things right now, initially I was quite happy to be at home because I think people like you and me, we are always out on the run. We are always meeting people, having a lot of human interaction. Then suddenly we are cooped up at home, and then we gotta do this and that. Um, I think it was quite a drastic change, even though a lot of people are yearning for this kind of lifestyle. But apparently, it didn't quite work for me initially. So I got a little bit of burnout initially. Then after that, I started to change my routine and change my task perspective, and also most importantly, my scheduling of stuff, and also my the way how I do things. And eventually, I think I'm more productive. At the same time, I'm more my things are getting more fulfilled on a more let's just say on a faster basis, and I get things done a lot better than I would before let's just say at the start of the circuit breaker. So generally, yeah, I think I'm doing okay, and I think a lot of people as well, they are also doing coping well and getting into this new lifestyle that we're having currently.
Very good. I think you're adapting very well also, right?
I think so. I hope so. Always improvement to be done, I believe. Always improvements.
Good. Now, Denise, all of us would be actually very curious. So tell me tell us more about yourself. What do you do?
I'm actually run a advertising agency, mega agency. We are into IoT advertisement as well. We are also a community-based marketing platform where our basic aim is to really drive traffic to retail businesses, to any sort of businesses that are keen to put themselves onto the online space. Yeah, and I'm quite sure a lot of people here, including both you and me, and I mentioned quite a lot of times that we heard of this thing called O2O, online to offline and offline to online. So our main purpose is to really jumpstart any businesses, small and big, into the digital space or the online space, we call it ASAP, without much capital. Not even needing the need for the government grant. And if companies that are already IT savvy, then our role of our mega agency and myself is to really help them push their sales slash revenue into another envelope.
Hmm. Very good. I think that is quite a very great work that you are doing. So I believe, Denise, this COVID-19 pandemic is something that we did not actually expect. So in fact,
Mm.
most of us may have exciting plans this year that we have planned last year, and
Oh
comes
yeah.
this brings a greater uncertainty. Denise, so far, how has this COVID been affecting your business, and how are you coping with it? We are very curious to know.
I think this COVID situation turns things down spiral almost immediately. Let's just say Singapore government has staged the whole situation into several parts, so the everything doesn't just come downfall like that. So there was still quite acceptable changes to be done from my business point of view. And at the same time, I think it definitely affects everyone, because the change and the paradigm shift of doing business are a big one. And it affects everyone from freelancers, SMEs, startups, MNCs, and even international MNCs and of different industries. Look at Hindon, for example. So on myself, on my own, yes, definitely I get affected for sure. If I don't say I'm being affected, then I think I'm lying. But on a positive note, many businesses are already trying to get themselves and talk to more people, talk to more digital agencies, or even some good companies about getting themselves on the online space. And this is where I am at right now, which I'm also helping people to jump. So on a personal level, honestly, it's never easy to manage something like that, because I think I'm like many of you out there. I am a naturally negative person, and then we call it and then. However, given at this state, I think there's no time for us to be negative, whether we are individuals or employees or even business owners or startups or freelancers, because ultimately we have someone behind our back to really take care of. For most of us, we have our family members, our loved ones, and for business owners, we have our own team to take note of. We have our employees to pay them, and I think we have a little bit of responsibilities over our shoulders. So, I become negative because I just feel that I'm just working a lot harder than last time. Some people say 10 times more, or even 100 times more. But for the sake of everyone else and even ourselves, then I think we need to really switch our mindset from that point of things. If we continue to be in negative state, then we get burned out really easily. But we don't just give up on ourselves, we're also giving up on the people who trusted us all this while during the good times. And it's only during now that the bad times, then we really need to back up even more, isn't it? And I think most importantly, people of my age, we have probably, some of us have already made a good few, let's just say, fortune or windfall from previous recessions, like SARS, like 1998 and previous ones. But some of us might even miss the chance or miss the boat. And that being said, right now will be a chance to really make a good windfall or have a crisis that turn into the opportunity situation for many of us, for no matter what we are doing. And I think this is something that I'm looking forward and I'm very positive about. I mean, that being said, we are also looking at things to really help other businesses to help themselves, and also from there we help ours.
That's a very good point, that we shouldn't be going downward spiral of negativity, and I love how you actually bring yourself up and continuously to strive better. So we all know, as we running a business, we will need to constantly be creative. Even before these pandemic challenges, we are thrown with unexpected challenges or hiccups during business, etc. I mean, creative is actually about thinking out of the box. So for now, during this period, most businesses, services are actually affected, and it's like a circle. There's a huge reduction in deals coming in, and yet you have to pay your employees, you have to pay for your operation costs. And so in fact, it's somewhat like bleeding money out. So likewise for employees working for companies, even more uncertain about job security, especially now we have a huge pool of people unfortunately being laid off. Can you share with us some ways that most of us can be creative in our business during this period? Maybe give us some examples.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we are always, as business owners or entrepreneurs, we are always stuck at a juncture, or what we call at a cliff, and we really don't know what to do. However, I think everyone has been online most of the time at home, or doing work, or even just to browse through, or even get ideas. And I think I could probably share, which some of you might have already known, some very good creative, very good initiatives by many organizations out there. One of it is actually very local company named as Koi. our bubble tea. Ever since bubble tea got closed, my kids were going crazy, man. I was like, oh, hey, don't have to put on calories. but yeah, man, they were like, oh my god, no more koi. But then I think about 2 days later, koi actually collaborated with grain, and this is a very good collaboration. So one of the many creative ways, or should I say one of the many ways to really improve your business is really not to outbid your competitors or similar trade friends, but rather is to work together. And I really think this is a very good one. Secondly would be Liho. Liho also another bubble tea chain shop in Singapore, and they have their own packaging, own self-made bubble tea packages which can deliver to your home. And this is also a very good way. To me, it's like making your niche homemade and ready for it to be enjoyed by your consumers who are missing your services or products. And this way, trust me, is actually to gain a lot more loyalty than normal days would. And I feel this is really, really good. Other than F&B, I'm going hungry. Let's talk about something that is more globalized and worldwide. So my wife loves Harry Potter a lot, and we're wanting to go Japan to see the Harry Potter museum and the fun park and stuff. And then Harry Potter came out with their own virtual tour, and that was amazing because that virtual tour really made you into that person, into that perspective where they are in that place without spending a single cent. And this is really amazing, which I'm quite sure after this whole COVID situation dies down, God knows when, I'm quite sure a lot of us, because of this virtual show or virtual tour, will probably fly there sooner or later. And this is one way how we can get loyalty as well. Then after that will be my personal favorites like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Ducati. They did their museum virtual tours, and they did it like every 2-3 days once, and it's a good about 30 minutes, and from there it actually increase as a car fanatic. It increases your urge to really fly there and take a look. And also for Ducati, they actually go into the specifics of how they do the bikes and how they come up with the R&D, the performance, and all the nitty-gritty good stuff that any motorcyclist would love. So these are very good initiatives. It honestly is bleeding. Why is it bleeding? Because you are not earning from any of this viewership. You are not earning from the ticket pricing, but rather you are actually buying loyalty in this case. And I really think this is very, very important currently. And that's some of the 2 ways that I thought it would be good, but it might not be really applicable for many businesses. But come to think of it, couple of things that I thought about how to be creative in our business as well. Right now, a lot of people are going into TikTok, a lot of people are going into IG, online or whatsoever. But TikTok and IG, they are having very, very good online, let's say online marketing techniques, tools in their own app itself. And you can use IGTV to buy stuff. You can go into the instant post and then go and tag your products and then go to an IG shop. And all these are very good ways of how you can make your company's product and services sellable online. And everyone is buying everything online nowadays. Things will not change even after COVID ends, because the habit is like that already, buying things online. Some people will still want to have that physical shopping experience, but well, let us say things are starting to change already. And even this morning, PM Lee has already mentioned that a lot of businesses are going into the online space, and I think it's a very good chance for a lot more opportunities to arise from here. Yeah. So I got one more thing that probably is not really creative, but from there you can find a lot more creativity for a business. And this is really something that some people find it very controversial, and I feel is very much needed actually. So I've been doing a lot of reading, and reading on online blogs, ebooks, articles, physical books from library. Even though they are closed, I borrow a lot, and it's still in my shelf. And reading my old books currently. So I feel that reading more, learning more, and then we can use whatever we learned and relearn to apply, and then from there we can start to earn more or increase our sales and revenue in our own businesses. And having more knowledge actually allows you to apply creativity in many aspects of our businesses, be it whatever industry you are doing. And this really works, because ultimately this amount of knowledge that you have actually can lead you a bit further, or in some cases a lot further than many of our current industry, let's just say friends. Yeah. Last but not least, for those companies with employees or even with freelancers with you, I think it's also good that we actually get them to upgrade themselves, including ourselves. Why? Because like I said again, knowledge is actually very important when it comes to applying new methods or new style in your business, and upgrading. Some need to spend some money. Some are actually government subsidies. However, a lot of reading on the right articles in the right frame, and you actually get very good ideas from there. And from there, you can push up your businesses to another level compared to pre-COVID times. So to me, there are a lot of ways to be really creative in our businesses, but it's about how we look at things right now, and also what do we look for, and what information do we want to obtain from the right sources or not. I think this is what I feel, how we can be really creative. At the same time, here are some examples that I just mentioned. Trust me, if you go online and take a look at it, there will be a lot of other good sources or places that you see that other companies, whether is it local or worldwide, or even just our neighboring countries, they are doing a lot of interesting things. You can plug and play a little bit of this and then turn it into your own company flavor. Yeah.
I think it's really a great examples that you have actually shared with us, and I really appreciate Denise for sharing with us very real examples and how applicable these examples that we can look into to help us to be creative during this period. On a side note, Denise, there are a large number of people out there looking at the recent report. We are looking at least about 200,000 in Singapore, people going to be laid off soon. And I always believe that this is not the end, because once economy rebound, business get deals coming in, and of course the cycle comes in, we need people to run those client accounts. Can you share with us, during this period particularly, where people starts to feel very negative, starts to feel very uncertain, how can we encourage them to be creative in the job market in the midst of these uncertainties?
Wow, this is a very interesting story. Interesting question. Because of the fact that MAS just released on news saying that there's a negative growth in our GDP. At the same time, Grab and Deliveroo are also retrenching a certain amount of percentage of their employees and also the freelancers. And all these are very bad news for everyone. And not just for individuals, but also for businesses, but also for our bosses, and also even for whatever we are doing. And if you notice, there's a lot of taxi drivers stopping at the taxi stands, Grab drivers saying that they have very little passengers to pick up because everyone is staying at home. So all these are very, very bad news. However, we need to really overcome it no matter what. Ultimately, this is not the first recession we have, honestly. But every recession, we have a different, let us say, different approach to things. So everyone is looking to survive, that's for sure. But a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people don't look beyond COVID. They always look at what they need to do currently, rather than what they need to do going forward and going into the future a little bit. So it's going to stay here for a while. COVID is going to stay here for a while, and we got no idea how long it really will stay. Let me share a little bit about a small story that I saw. It's from a nice little picture on Instagram. It's a picture of a lion and a deer in a jungle setting. So it was in Chinese. So it states actually, let me say in English, a deer will have to fight for its day every day because it do not want to be eaten by the lion. And then another sentence right below the lion states that a lion needs to fight for itself, its survival daily. Why? Because it needs to find food on a daily basis for himself and its pride. And then in the caption it states, every human also need to fight for our survival, no matter what state are we in. Because ultimately, we will need to fight for our own rights, we need to live life on our own terms, and most importantly, we need to have the best for our loved ones. And this article, this small little picture speaks a whole lot of volume about how we should do things during this downturn. And probably I have about a few pointers to share, and maybe this could easily help anyone, whether are you a job seeker, whether are you an employee currently, or you are a freelancer, or even a business owner who is facing a little bit of let us say negative sales, or probably a business is trying to do more than what you are supposed to do. I think the very first thing that I feel is of utmost importance right now is really to relook or even think about your sole purpose of your business, of your position, of your job, and most importantly, what you want to achieve from what you are doing currently. Because having a purpose in this situation actually helps a lot. I want to specially mention this particular lady called Carol. I don't know her personally, but I'm very active on her Instagram. So Carol Chen is the lady boss of Coftella. Yeah, and she actually she actually has she don't have a lot of people to rent dresses from. So she took an additional cloth and she started doing her own fashion mask called Mastella. And she has her freelancers to do all these hand-sewed masks, and from there she starts to sell at $40 per piece. But $40 per piece, $1 goes to the profit, and the rest actually goes to as salary to her freelancers. And she's doing this because she's trying to pay a little bit of overheads, but her purpose was really to help people look good even though they have their mask on. But at the same time, look at migrant workers center. They are actually raising funds, and a lot of people are actually contributing funds to it. In fact, as Mega Agency, we are going to conduct a few Zoom activities, and we are donating all the proceeds to migrant worker funds. And I think it's very important to help these foreign workers. Ultimately, they are here in Singapore doing the job that what Singaporeans don't want to do. So I think it's our small little token of appreciation, you know. So yeah, finding a purpose is very important, because when you have that purpose, people can tell whatever you are doing, are you selling or are you helping? And I always believe helping over selling is more important. Second point is about how to solve inconveniences. How to solve inconveniences for our daily life needs, our daily usage of something. And I think Apple did a really, really good job, and even until now, they're still doing it. Zoom is also a very good a very good example that they are actually solving inconveniences, and many, many other examples. So if our job can actually solve inconveniences to our bosses, our employers, our businesses, or even to our direct superiors, whichever hierarchy you're at, if you can solve that inconvenience, I think is really a very good value added perspective, or even a proposition for yourself, and that making difficult tasks simple can help a lot, and in the long run. Third, one of the creative methods that anyone would want to look for is actually automation. I came across a couple of businesses. They don't have a website, and they are looking for a website not to really drive sales, but their sole purpose was to really have a website to really just automate their tasks. Rather than engaging their consumers online through Facebook page, through WhatsApp, through Messenger, they are handling all these manual inquiries. But if they have a website, they can manage all these inquiries immediately through the website, because it's just one shot show everything, and one glance any consumer would understand. And most importantly, they can do their own management, inventory management, or resource management system in such websites, or even some sort of software out there, which either you get it a free trial, or you probably need to pay a small fee every month. And this little money that you pay, or this little time that you shave every time due to automation, actually helps you to have more room for creativity, which will increase the things that whatever you're doing to intentionally bring up sales or revenue. Or even in some of them, they just want to bring up branding awareness. I think automation also helps a lot. And my wife currently is renting the trampoline, the home trampoline. Yeah. So trampoline used to be, when she started exercising with this company, she need to go to the gym and do that trampoline jump once a week or even twice a week. And they do it on a classes subscription. Okay. And then this company switch things around. They actually do rental and they do subscription. Very, very smart. And there's a lot of businesses like that. Example, Netflix, Spotify, all these are subscription-based companies, and they are doing all this even at right now. If you can turn your business, if it's suitable, and turn it into a subscription-based company, oh man, that will be quite good. That will be quite good. I was just thinking out loud, if bubble tea made subscription-based packages, I think I'm going broke, man.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my God.
totally agree.
Yeah, so it's damn cool. Last but not least, one of the most important pointers that I would like to share and mention is over here, that how to really be creative in whether are we job seeking or even proposing to become better in our businesses or our life. I think jump start into the O2O space immediately. This is very important. Why? Because O2O, I state again, online to offline, offline to online, I think is a very important aspect currently. And if you don't jump into the online space now, you might lose out even after COVID, because consumer behavior has changed. It will stay for a while. Secondly, this is the current economic state. Everything is online too. Even Chinese New Asia is also online. I mean, people watch TV, but people would rather watch Facebook for news, or even just go to ChineseNewAsia.com and look at the live streaming from there. So if your business is not online yet, then I think we need to do something about it, so that you can be in it with many of us. At the same time, you can use this to really push for a better future. Not just to cover all of it currently, not just to solve the current issues, but also to solve future issues. And this jump start into the O2O model, a lot of companies can do it. But however, if they can do it fast with minimum capital outlay, I think we should start looking for it. Yeah.
Very good, very good. I think that's a very good point, into taking opportunity to go from offline to online, and of course to remain an online to offline, vice versa communications way, right? And really I feel your points about finding a purpose, solving inconvenience, and really the finding a purpose of helping over selling, the importance of that. You bring out the essence with real examples. That's very helpful. I believe that everyone has actually benefited during this time. So Denise, actually, to summarize everything, is a great interview session we had over the last 20 minutes, and very good point that you have brought up about collaborations with similar different partners, leveraging on different resources and capability during this period. That's very important for businesses right now. Especially it's time that we are hands tied in different areas. So leveraging on each other's strengths, capabilities will help a lot in our business. And about re-strategizing, branding, offering creative solutions for consumers, for our customers. to actually also be aligned with what their needs right now during this COVID period also stands a very great point. And I also particularly like, about finding a purpose for individual or for business owners, having to find that purpose, reading up, relearn and learn, upskilling yourself, your employees, or improve your business performance, for example. I totally agree that many of us are too stressed and too caught up with a lot of all these negative emotions till to date, although it's been 1 month. It has actually thrown every one of us into a whirlwind of tremendous uncertainty. And most of us are thinking of how to survive rather than preparing for what is after the circuit breaker or after the lockdown. So while countrywide, company too also take precautions like stay home, and people are very uptight in emotions, forcing us to be creative. So all these creative solutions actually, even before pandemic happens, it also can be done. It's just that this situation just pushes us even further to be creative. And really thank you, Denise, for this during these 20 minutes of time. You shared a lot of great important points that all of
Just a
us
little bit.
may or may not know or may have known, but it's actually a good reminder for people who I know and people who actually don't know. Like for myself, actually it's a great, tremendous learning today. And once again, thank you, Denise, for sparing this time of
Thank you.
your May Day. Today's Happy Labour Day, right?
Yeah, yeah.
May Day. To share with us how we can be creative during this, and even after the COVID-19 is over, we can continuously be creative. So thanks again, Denise, for
Thank you,
having you
Dennis.
here.
Thank you.
So we hope next time you can tell us more a little bit about O2O model, explain a little bit more. Now, so every one of us, I believe that during this episode, the last 20 minutes is actually a good learning point that most of us can take away from this video session, this interview session. So thank you for everyone for tuning into this episode. So, let us take care, stay safe, stay well during this period. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we
you,
will
everyone.
stay tuned for the next episodes. Thanks.